Tonight, the family's facing an uncertain future. Richard House Hospice provides respite and care to hundreds of children with life-limiting illnesses. Its closure next week has shocked those who've come to rely on it.
It's really upsetting. It's very, very upsetting. I don't know where my son is going to find the same care, the same love and care.
Also ahead, more bobbies on the Christmas beat. The Met confirms hundreds more officers are on patrol to keep people safe. We're with Charlie Quirk as he completes his marathon trek for Alzheimer's research. And the Sutton Santa who's making sure hundreds of kids don't go without at Christmas. Good evening. London's oldest children's hospice is to shut down permanently just before Christmas. For 25 years, Richard House in Beckton has been providing specialist care for children with complex life-limiting conditions, many of whom have just days to live. The hospice says the combined impact of the cost of living crisis, the pandemic and soaring inflation has devastated fundraising efforts. Hundreds of families will be affected, with the nearest alternative provision at least 9 miles away. Olivia Guthrie reports.
Ready to go. Ready?
Saba's son Yahya is deaf, blind and non-verbal.
Yay!
The family, along with around 300 others, rely on Richard House Children's Hospice in Beckton to help them cope. But the hospice, which offers end-of-life care for children as well as short respites and counselling, has unexpectedly announced it's closing because of financial constraints and funding cuts.
It's really upsetting. It's very, very upsetting. It's left me in a very, very vulnerable state. I don't know where my son is going to find the same care, the same love and care. It almost feels like we've just been shut out and we don't know what's going to happen now.
Save Richard House!
Saba and other parents are now hoping their protesting voices will be loud enough to stop it.
This is what mornings in our house look like.
Emma and her little boy Alexander also used the services at Richard House. She says telling him it was closing was very hard.
He sat there very quiet for about 30 seconds and then he jumped off the bed and said to me, "Right, I'm going to sell all my toys."
I wanted to give all my money and all my toys to Richard House and all the food I eat. Thank you.
Why do you want to do that, darling?
Because Richard House might be closed forever.
We won't just lie down to it. We will fight as best we can, because that's all we do for our kids is fight.
Karima's son Jaden has a life-limiting condition. She and other parents insist they've already secured a large donation to keep Richard House going and are confident they can secure more.
We are calling for the trustees to step down and to resign. We're quite happy, that it doesn't have to end acrimoniously, that, we thank them for their work, but effectively we think in the interest of the vulnerable beneficiaries of this charity, we need a new interim board that is ready to go.
The government says it's committed £80 million funding for children's hospices and is determined to end a postcode lottery in hospice care. Why this and the parents' fundraising isn't enough to save Richard House isn't clear. But after serving the community for a quarter of a century, this critical support to vulnerable families is set to close this Christmas.
Well, Carolyn, we asked Richard House to respond to those parents' concerns about the trustees, but we didn't hear back. Of course, we know that charities are really struggling at the moment, and none more so than hospices.
Costs have risen over the last few years, and fundraising has not been able to keep pace for it. So hospices are challenged throughout the country, but this is the first closure of a children's hospice for many years, and a really sad milestone.
Well, the Richard House parents that I spoke to today are really desperate. It only came out yesterday that it's going to be closing next Wednesday, but they're still hopeful that by getting it out there to our viewers that they might be able to at least raise awareness and perhaps raise some funds to help save Richard House from closure. OK, goodness, thanks very much indeed, Olivia, for that. Now, you may have noticed how busy the streets of central London are recently, with Christmas party season in full swing and shoppers on the lookout for presents. Well, the Mayor, along with the Met Police, today announced that extra officers will be on patrol after dark to keep us safe over the festive period. Sharon Thomas is in Covent Garden. Sharon, what are the details of this announcement then?
Well, so many of us are heading out so much more at the moment, aren't we? Going to Christmas parties, last-minute Christmas shopping, eating out a bit more and a bit too much. But as long as we're packing all this festive fun in, that's fantastic. But the most important thing is that we're staying safe. So Mayor Sadiq Khan is now working alongside the Met and businesses to really ensure that we're all protected during the winter evenings. Hundreds of extra officers will be on patrol now after dark, especially at popular Christmas hotspots.
We're going to bear down on terms of our streets being safer, making sure that we bear down on those who may try to shoplift, working with those that run pubs and bars to make sure they're as safe as they can. But we've got to make sure that this Christmas season is great for everyone, whether you're a shopper, whether you're somebody going to a nighttime venue, but a bad one if you're a criminal.
Put more resources into local town centres. This is one of the places we've done that, and we're supporting them with our sort of public order specialists who are adding extra weight to the team so that they can have the biggest impact possible. They've arrested tens of wanted offenders who frequent this area as part of this operation.
Now, new figures from the Mayor's office shows that there's been a 25% reduction in theft in the West End since April this year. These officers are going to be out targeting prolific shoplifters and also antisocial behaviour and violence against women and girls. Now, we've been speaking to one businesswoman in Shoreditch who says the visibility of these extra officers is just so important.
Without having potential officers on the street, it doesn't give people that reassurance to be able to go out and really enjoy themselves at this time of the year. I think it's absolutely vital that people see police officers on the street. For me and the rest of the venue and all of my team, it's about reassurance.
And now we're in the golden quarter of the year, of course, when all businesses are really hoping their tills are going to be ringing. But the most important thing is that we stay safe, we feel protected, so we can all come out and enjoy the beautiful lights and the wonderful festive atmosphere in places like here in Covent Garden.
Indeed, Sharon, thanks very much for that. Now, a 52-year-old carpenter from Surrey has been found guilty of murdering his wife in a rare retrial 8 years after being acquitted. Robert Rhodes killed his estranged wife Dawn at their family home in Red Hill in 2016 and was found not guilty after a trial at the Old Bailey a year later, having convinced jurors that he'd acted in self-defence. It's since emerged that this was a cover-up after the couple's child came forward with new evidence. The Health Secretary says flu is tearing through London's hospitals. Wes Streeting renewed his plea for doctors to call off their planned 5-day walkout from next Wednesday in response to new figures showing the number of people in London hospitalised with flu has risen by 47% in just a week. There were an average of 380 cases on wards each day in the week ending December the 7th. The Barbican is set to close its doors for a year as part of a multi-million-pound redevelopment. The home of the London Symphony Orchestra will shut in June 2028 for a huge refurbishment. Worried traders whose businesses could be demolished to make way for over 20,000 new homes in Enfield say their concerns are being ignored. The site at Cruise Hill was chosen as the likely location for a new town development, but locals have been kept guessing about the future, as our political correspondent Simon Harris reports.
Enfield has an unusual claim to fame. The North London borough boasts a collection of garden centres at Cruise Hill known as the Golden Mile of Greenhouses, and the Bird Centre is one of the main attractions. But after 40 years, Trevor fears his business is about to be buried beneath one of Labour's new towns.
This has been here many, many years. Why destroy it? Why build in Cruise Hill when they can build on other plots they've got elsewhere around Enfield and the surrounding areas, which they've never bothered with anyway?
Platform 1 for the 0955 Great Northern service to Moorgate.
It's easy to see why the government chose Cruise Hill. The city is only a 40-minute train ride away. But the plan to build 21,000 homes in this slice of Greenbelt has provoked a furious reaction from the garden centres and their customers.
To be told that we're going to need to go is quite devastating. But not only that, because we're tenants, we don't own the land. If there's a compulsory purchase, the landlady gets the money, but yeah, we're just told to go, which gives us a very bleak future.
The new town's supporters, including Sadiq Khan, see it as an answer to London's housing crisis.
A lot of the debate around this has focused on kind of scenic landscape and what's pretty, but what's not pretty is the record levels of temporary accommodation we see in London. Over 90,000 children currently trapped living in temporary accommodation. That's enough to fill Wembley Stadium.
In her budget, the Chancellor argued the government had made fair and necessary choices.
And we faced opposition to them, from opponents to planning reform, who will always demand that the future is built somewhere else, not in their backyard.
We're definitely not a bunch of NIMBYs. We recognise that housing is essential. Everybody deserves a nice, warm house to live in, and we're fortunate that we already have those. But it needs to be the right houses in the right places.
The Bird Centre says some of its customers travel from as far away as the south coast.
It's very, very heart-breaking, really. A place like this eventually will be gone forever.
The new town's opponents claim their concerns are being ignored. Labour-run Enfield Council, which backs the development, promises it will be shaped by local people. The threat to the Greenbelt will almost certainly play a part in next May's London council elections. Simon Harris, ITV News, Cruise Hill.
Still to come on the programme.
New flex hammer.
Very good. Knee flex hammer. Check that you're alive.
The gift of life for the boy with a rare illness as his kidney donor wish comes true in time for Christmas. But first, this week we've been following Charlie Quirk on his 140-kilometre walk across the capital. Charlie's raising funds for Alzheimer's research in aid of his mum, the beloved actress Pauline Quirk, who was diagnosed with dementia 4 years ago. Today was the final stretch, finishing in Buckinghamshire. Before we see how he got on, here's Callum Fairhurst with a look back at his journey.
5 days on his feet, 140 kilometres walked, every step for his mum.
You're going to put it on one of your three-legged horses, was you?
Charlie's mum, actress Pauline Quirk, was diagnosed with dementia in 2021. This walk is raising money for a charity fighting the condition.
Morning.
The walk retraced his mum's footsteps to stardom, starting in Chigwell in Essex, where her most famous show, Birds of a Feather, was set, cheered off by family and friends. Alongside them, co-star Linda Robson and actor Ray Winston. Into London, visiting academy players of their favourite team, West Ham.
Doing it together.
And even a surprise from his dad.
Oh, hate that. What'd I say?
Who joined for yesterday's leg to Windsor Castle, where she got her MBE. That honour was in part for her work setting up the Pauline Quirk Academy, getting young people into acting.
Single slice, or even two groups.
Students at the Academy have been writing letters of support.
My granddad has dementia, so I wrote about how this isn't just helping him, but it's also helping everyone else.
I think it's very impressive because he's doing it for all good things.
It's like an amazing thing to do for people with dementia, especially since his mum is suffering with it.
Come in too much, so we've got some spaces and then everyone can be seen, yeah?
One of the principals of the Academy has worked alongside Pauline. She says his mum would be proud.
I'm blown away with how well Charlie's done. Honestly, he's like his mum, he is such a lovely, amazing man, and he just seems to have taken all of this in his stride, literally.
And after 5 days, the final stretch, the last few metres of a walk in honour of his mum.
Well, just moments ago, Charlie, a very tired Charlie, crossed the finish line here in Buckinghamshire after starting this mammoth journey on Monday across Essex and then coming all the way through London and finishing right here surrounded by family and friends. I caught him just after he finished. How are your legs?
Oh, I think you saw at the end, they're completely shot. Everything's hurting, but I feel incredible. I feel so lucky to be able to have done this for my family and for everyone else. You know, I really feel like we've made a difference, or we're starting to make a difference, you know. the work that Alzheimer's Research UK are doing is incredible, and they've cared so much about our story. And yeah, I just can't thank everyone enough.
Mate, you've got so much to be proud of. There's so many people here that are so proud of you. What's been carrying you through this journey?
The love from people all over the country that have either joined me on this trek, messaged, or even coming up to me in the street and, you know, stopping saying thank you for doing this, and we love your mum. And it turns out, yeah, people love my mum as much as I do. You know?
And I imagine the thing you want to do now is just go and see her, right?
Yes, mate. Yeah. So hurry up. Yeah. No, I do. It's, you know, she's an incredibly strong woman, and I'm just so proud of what we've done as a family, and to you know, we're very private, but to tell this story for my mum and millions across the country, that's something I think is better than anything I've ever done.
So my final question then: what are you going to do when you put your feet up? Are you going to have a beer? What are you going to be doing?
Oh, mate, that's $1 million question, isn't it? Just give my mum a cuddle and put the kettle on, I think, and then get a nice pint of Guinness after.
Now, the walk has ended, but the fight against Alzheimer's and dementia still continues. And Charlie has raised an amazing £175,000 so far, but he tells me he wants that money to keep going up so he can have a lasting impact.
Oh, Callum Fairhurst there with Charlie Quirk, and well done indeed to Charlie. Now, my guest tonight is arguably the internet's most charismatic wine expert. Tom Gilby drinks wine, talks about wine, makes videos of himself sampling wine. He even ran the London Marathon while stopping every mile for, you guessed it. Now, he has a book out to celebrate his love affair with winemaking. But before we speak to him, here he is in action.
What an absolutely ridiculous way to spend Monday morning. And I haven't got a glass, and I really think this, Fred, I can't really drink that out of a bottle. 1 glass, 11 Chardonnays. I'm in Battersea, in the heart of London, on a train rolling over one of the coolest wineries, urban wineries, in the town. Welcome to the party, people. It's nearly Christmas, it's nearly party time.
Well, thanks very much indeed for coming in. So what's this all about? Explain your love of wine.
Well, my dad was a chef, and he used to import all his own wine, and I've basically been brought up meeting extraordinary, very strange people who make wine.
So how do you actually describe yourself? Is it that fancy word sommelier, or is it something else?
I think just confused, really. But all my whole life has been wine. So I've done wine making training and wine, my wine exams, and then really it all went a bit upside down when my 28-year-old son said, run a marathon and I'll get some mates to give you a wine tasting.
We need to talk about this. How on earth did you run the marathon doing all that wine tasting?
Well, I think this is quite apt coming off the back of the story that we just had. It was London Marathon last year.
Yeah.
Fred, my son, turns to me and says, Dad, you're 52, you're probably not going to win this race and you've only got £2,000 raised. So he said, I've organised some mates, here we go, walking around the 26 friends with a wine. You're going to blind taste the wine. Grape, year, country, and he did a video.
How many did you get right?
7 completely right, as in the country, the grape and the year. 4 completely wrong, as in nothing right, and then the rest in between. But the most important thing is I got round.
I don't know how you manage that. That's completely bonkers. And of course, you've got a book out, which I shall hold up now, called Thirsty. So tell me what's in this book then.
So I wrote, Penguin said, can you write a wine book? So I send them 6,000 words on a wine book, and they said that's the most boring thing they've ever read. Oh. We want much more fun. So it is my life in wine, with lots of tips at the end of every paragraph about what you should drink for Christmas, how you can taste wine, all sorts of things.
So it's more like stories about being a wine.
It's stories. So don't buy that book if you want to know loads about wine. Buy that book if you want to fall in love with wine.
Oh, well, I think most people already have, haven't they? Let's face it. So when did you start making all these videos, and when did it start really taking off? You've got a huge audience, haven't you?
I know, it's extraordinary, really, but it's all a mistake. Last year, my son Fred says to me, Dad, we're going to sell no wine in January because people do funny things like join the gym. And he says, so get in the ice bath. It's going to be very cold next week. And we'll do a little video on the best temperature to drink white wine.
Yeah.
The rest is...
And the rest is history.
The rest is... And then he said, well, let's do another one. And it got 2 million views.
So many views.
It's extraordinary.
And of course, you're a bit of a fan of, what do you think about these celebrities making wine? You like Gary Barlow's, don't you?
I do. I think what the celebrities have done is actually bring wine into, you know, we look at a supermarket shelf and we don't have a clue what wine tastes of what. And if it's got Kylie written on it, at least it gives us that sort of feel that it's going to be okay. And most of these wines are more than okay. And his wine's great.
So let me see, what kind of wine are you going to be drinking this Christmas then? Yourself?
So I'm going to be drinking, Christmas dinner is the most difficult meal to match. If you've got red cabbage, pigs in blankets, turkey, whatever it is going on, all sorts of flavours, I would go Rioja, and you can go where you want to on that, but like 10 quid at Sainsbury's is a really good Cunet Reserve Rioja, great one.
That's a great one.
We'll
be drinking it all. Well, good luck with the launch of your book, Thirsty, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Now, Christmas is a time for giving, but one man from Sutton takes that to the extreme. Robert Watson's been raising money to buy Christmas presents for thousands of disadvantaged children for more than a decade. And he does it alongside his day job as a plumber and father of 4. Toby Sadler's been to meet him.
The only thing plumber Bob Watson is fixing at this time of year is Christmas spirit. He downs tools and picks up presents, meaning some 4,000 children get a gift on Christmas morning who otherwise would get nothing.
So every child will get a large toy, a couple of smaller toys. This one will have these two. We'll make sure they get a couple of smaller toys, some Lego for an 8-year-old boy. Again, every child will get a selection box put in, a book, which we find very important, and a teddy bear.
Bob was inspired by his dad, the original Secret Santa, a police officer who quietly saved his mileage money each year.
And at his funeral, we found out him and his friends used to put that money aside each year, then spend it on toys for, back then it was orphanages and kids' homes.
Now Bob inspires the community around him. Every few minutes, more donations arrive.
Thank you.
From bags full to black cabfuls. Patrick drums up support from the parents of the Little League he runs.
And it hits home because we've all got children of similar ages in the league. You're only one day away from being in that situation yourself. So I think it kind of hits home. Everyone feels for the people that are struggling.
Once packed, the gift bags go to charities and community groups, and then on to the families. Some struggling with the cost of living, some kids whose parents have died, others who are escaping domestic abuse.
They don't trust, they don't know many people, and gifts like this kind of shed some light in that darkness that they're experiencing, but also sends them a message that they matter and that the community does care and we believe them.
Everyone in the borough knows Bob, everyone in the borough loves Bob, and I don't think any of us could do Christmas without Bob. Everyone needs a Bob in their life.
Wonka actor and comedian Tom Davis is an old mate of Bob's and the charity's patron.
In life, if you can feel that someone's out there fighting your corner and someone's doing something for you, and someone's there to help, that can feel like a big weight off your shoulders.
While Bob is being Santa, business partner Craig is on plumbing duty.
What are your thoughts on Bob? I know he's standing over the shoulder there, so you don't have to be too nice about him. But
he's Sutton Santa. That's what Bob is. He's
Sutton Santa.
Yeah, Sutton Santa.
It's not too late to donate. If you have presents to give, Bob will make sure they end up under a child's tree on Christmas morning. Toby Sadler, ITV News.
What a great bloke. Right, let's get a check on the weather now with Holly Green.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather.
Hello, good evening. Not looking like a bad weekend, actually. Any cloud and patchy rain clearing its way eastwards. A mainly dry look over the next couple of days. A chilly start perhaps tomorrow, maybe some mist and fog, but a sunny story. Then into Sunday, a bit more cloud around and the breeze picks up as well. But overall, I think some very usable weather for any Christmas events this weekend. So we've had a weather front clearing its way eastwards today. This is the next one coming in, but it very much delivers its weather to the northwest of the country in the short term. And we get away with that dry story, a bit more of a squeeze in those isobars on Sunday, hence that breeze picking up, a bit more cloud around. But as I say, a lot of dry weather in general. Out there this evening, cloud is tending to clear its way through. We'll see starry skies increasingly overhead. That's going to allow temperatures to fall away and some mist and fog to form as well. So it is a chilly start as we head into tomorrow morning, some frost in more rural spots and yes, some mist and fog to start the day. That should lift and clear probably by around about 10 or 11 o'clock, I should think. And then all of us should get to see some sunshine for tomorrow, some lovely blue skies overhead, light winds around as well, maybe a little bit more breeze just picking up as the day wears on. But basically, a very decent day for the time of year. Temperatures a little bit lower perhaps than today's values, but certainly compensated by that sunshine. Tomorrow evening and overnight you could see a bit of mist and fog reforming for a time, but as this breeze picks up that will clear it. Then we start to see more cloud just wending its way towards us on Sunday. So yes, more cloud around in general, more of a breeze picking up as well, but a lot of dry weather, no appreciable rain in the forecast until next week.
TUI sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Now, for some living proof that Christmas wishes do come true. Last year on the programme, we featured the story of 4-year-old Ethan Wilson, who was born with a rare condition called prune belly syndrome. He needed a kidney donor to come forward to save his life. Well, that person was watching the show and got in touch. Today, Ethan got the chance to meet the woman whose kidney helped give him a new lease of life. Sally Patterson has their story.
New flex hammer.
Last year, Ethan only wanted one thing for Christmas: a new kidney. This year, his wish came true.
You're always hopeful, but you're trying not to get too excited. And then when it actually happened, it was just a lot of relief and just really grateful.
Ethan was born with prune belly syndrome, a rare condition that affects the abdominal muscles. He's only 5, but has spent much of his life here at Great Ormond Street Hospital, where he's known as Dr. Ethan.
Hi.
And this week, a chance to meet the woman who helped make his transplant possible. Angelina Ogden from Balham wasn't a direct match, but through a pooling scheme supported by the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust, she gave her kidney to a different patient, freeing up another donor for Ethan.
We found out at 20 weeks scans that he had this condition.
Sat there on my sofa, switched on the TV, the news was on ITV. In that moment I made the decision, I want to give him this kidney. He's changed my life. I know that his life has been changed, but he's changed my life ever since I've started that process.
Only 1.4% of the UK organ donor register is of black heritage, meaning finding a match can be difficult. But the operation in September was a success. Now everyone's recovering well.
Well, Ethan's become a bit of a celebrity on this ward, and that's hardly surprising given he's been coming here since he was 2 weeks old. The hope this operation will give him a new lease of life outside of these hospital walls.
Strangers from South London, now linked for life by the greatest gift of all. Sally Patterson, ITV News.
Oh, and we hope you feel better soon, Ethan. Well, that's it from us. The evening news is next with Geraint, but for now, from all of us, enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.